So good day everyone, I am Matthew Balucas and today we're going to talk about the recognition of adverbs. So first, let us define what are adverbs. So adverbs are words that usually modify, that is, they limit or restrict the meaning of verbs. They may also modify adjectives, other adverbs, phrases, or even entire sentences. So technically, there are different types of adverbs. So to make the long story short, an adverb answers the question when, where, how much, how long, or how often. Here are example sentences in which there are adverbs in it. So here we have, the elections are coming soon. So soon here answers the question when. So when are the elections coming? So the elections are coming soon. Next we have is the only shopped locally. So locally here is the place in which it answers the question where. So where did they shop? So they only shopped locally. Next we have is they are happily married. So how are they married? So they are happily married. Next we have is the roads are very steep. So how was the road? So the roads are very steep. Next we have is he stopped by briefly to say hello. So how long did he stop by to say hello? So he stopped by briefly or he stopped by shortly only. Lastly, we have my daughter calls me regularly. So how often does your daughter calls you? So my daughter calls me regularly. So most adverbs are formed by adding the suffix ly to an adjective. If the adjective already ends in y, the letter y usually changes to I. Then it will be added with ly. So here we have is the word bold. So when we add ly, it becomes boldly and it is already an adverb. Next we have is solid and added with ly, it is solidly. Next we have is interesting. Then we add ly, it becomes interestingly. Next we have is the word heavy. So heavy ends with y. So what we're going to do is we change y to I, then add ly. So heavy becomes heavily. Next word we have is unnecessary. So also, unnecessary ends with letter y. So we change y to I, then add ly. So unnecessary becomes unnecessarily. So here we have some examples from the story A Rose for Emily by William Faulkner. Here are some example sentences in which there is an adverb in it. So first we have, the women, mostly out of curiosity to see the inside of her house, which no one save an old manservant, a combined gardener and cook, had seen in at least 10 years. So mostly here, which is underlined, is the adverb which modifies the word women, and women here is a noun. So next we have is they waited until Miss Emily was decently in the ground before they opened it. So the adverb decently here modifies the noun Miss Emily. So next we have her skeleton was small and spare. Perhaps that was why what would have been merely plumpness in another was obesity in her. So merely here modifies the adjective plumpness. Next we have, she just stood in the door and listened quietly until the spokesman came to a stumbling halt. So quietly here modifies the verb listened. Lastly, after her father's death, she went out very little. After her sweetheart went away, people hardly saw her. So hardly here modifies the verb saw. That is all for our discussion for today. I hope you guys have learned something. Thank you and good day.